If your favorite part of Friday night is canceling plans and putting on pajamas, this isn't laziness. It's neurological. And science just proved you're not broken. You know that friend who always has an excuse? Too tired. Not feeling it. Maybe next time. Here's the thing. They're not flaky. They're not antisocial. Their brain is literally wired differently than yours. People who genuinely love staying home share 3 neurological patterns that make solitude feel like oxygen. And social events feel like drowning. And today we're breaking down what science discovered about why some brains crave home like others crave crowds. Let's start with something wild. Your brain has a chemical called dopamine. It's your reward system. When you get something good, dopamine floods your brain and says, yes, more of that. Extroverts? Their brains release massive amounts of dopamine from social interaction. A party, a crowded bar, meeting new people. Their reward system lights up like fireworks. Research from Cornell University found that extroverts have a more robust dopamine response to social rewards. They're literally getting high from the chaos. But here's where it gets interesting. A 2025 study published in Frontiers in Systems Neuroscience found that introverts don't have less dopamine. They're more sensitive to it. Their nervous systems have fewer dopamine receptors but higher sensitivity to stimulation. What feels just right to an extrovert feels like sensory overload to someone who loves staying home. It's like the difference between enjoying music at a comfortable volume versus having speakers blasted directly into your eardrums. Same music, different nervous system. So when a homebody leaves a party early, they're not being rude. Their brain is screaming, "That's enough dopamine, we're overwhelmed." Meanwhile, extroverts at the same party are thinking, "This is perfect, I need more." And there's another chemical at play. While extroverts run on dopamine, homebodies run on acetylcholine. This neurotransmitter creates feelings of calm, pleasure from reflection, and deep thinking. It rewards you for turning inward instead of outward. That's why an extrovert feels energized after talking to 10 people at a party. But you feel energized after reading a book in silence for 2 hours. Different fuel, same satisfaction. Now here's something that will change how you see yourself. For decades, scientists thought solitude was basically loneliness with a different name. Turns out, they're not even close to the same thing. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Personality found something remarkable. They taught people about the benefits of solitude, mental restoration, stress reduction, creativity, and then measured what happened when those people spent time alone. The result? Even lonely people felt better in solitude after learning to reframe it. The difference wasn't the solitude itself. It was whether they chose it or felt forced into it. This is huge. Loneliness is involuntary disconnection. It hurts. Solitude is intentional aloneness. It heals. University of Reading researchers tracked people for 21 days and found that when solitude was autonomous, meaning freely chosen, it didn't lead to loneliness at all. But when people felt socially obligated to be alone or felt isolated against their will, that's when the negative effects showed up. Think about it. You can feel desperately lonely in a room full of people who don't understand you, but you can feel completely content alone on a Saturday night doing exactly what you want to do. So the next time someone asks, "Aren't you lonely?" the answer isn't yes or no. It's loneliness and solitude are completely different experiences. A 2024 study in Social and Personality Psychology Compass found that people who enjoy solitude scored higher in emotional intelligence, creativity, and self-awareness. They weren't avoiding people. They were choosing depth over noise. Here's the third pattern, and this one might hit harder than the others. For many people who love staying home, there's a deeper layer beyond introversion and brain chemistry. Home represents something powerful: control. Think about the outside world. Loud strangers. Sudden plan changes. Small talk with people who ask questions but don't listen to answers. Overstimulating lights, sounds, crowds. Unpredictable everything. Now think about home. You control the lighting, the temperature, the noise level, who enters, what happens, when it happens. For the first time maybe in your entire day, you're not performing, adjusting, or bracing for chaos. You're just existing. Research from 2025 published in Frontiers in Psychology found that engaging in environmental activities, even simple ones like organizing your space or controlling your surroundings, provides a sense of control that reduces anxiety. And for people with high sensitivity or past experiences with unpredictability, that control isn't a luxury. it's survival. This is why some people describe home as their safe space. Not because the outside world is dangerous, but because it's exhausting to constantly adapt to environments they didn't choose. Psychologists call this environmental mastery, one of the 6 pillars of psychological well-being. It's the ability to create environments that fit your needs instead of constantly contorting yourself to fit environments that drain you. When you understand this, staying home stops looking like avoidance. It starts looking like wisdom. One more thing science discovered. Homebodies have incredibly rich internal worlds. Brain imaging studies found that introverts show more activity in their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for internal thoughts, planning, and imagination. While extroverts need external stimulation to stay engaged, people who love staying home are constantly entertained by what's happening inside their own minds. Older adults especially reported feeling most peaceful in solitude. You can sit in one spot for hours and never be bored because your mind is playing movies, connecting ideas, replaying conversations, creating scenarios. The excitement isn't out there, it's already in your head. This is why so many creative geniuses throughout history were homebodies. Isaac Newton, Emily Dickinson, Dr. Seuss. They didn't need the world's chaos because their internal world was already bursting with life. So here's what we know. If you love staying home, your brain is more sensitive to dopamine. You recharge through solitude instead of socializing. You find peace in control. And your internal world is rich enough to keep you engaged. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not missing out. But here's the one question you need to ask yourself honestly. Are you staying home because it recharges you? Or because leaving feels too heavy? There's a difference between rest and retreat. Rest feels peaceful. After it, you feel ready to engage again when you choose. Retreat feels heavy. After it, you feel more anxious about leaving next time. If staying home makes you feel more alive, more creative, more like yourself, that's healthy solitude. If staying home is because the world feels too overwhelming to face, that might be something worth exploring with support. The goal isn't to become someone you're not. The goal is to live authentically while still growing. So if this felt like you, if you just realized your brain isn't broken, it's just wired for depth over noise, for peace over performance, you're not alone. You're just different. And that difference, it's not a flaw, it's a feature. Share this with another homebody who needs to hear it.